so much. Now, guys, I like to encourage people to be their best versions of themselves, and really focus on strategies to be better, right? Now, they say, a lot of people will say they don't care what your education is, if they want to hire you, whatever. And so that's true, right? And maybe you could be a famous CEO, or maybe you do something famous, right? But I mean, and maybe you want to wait to school, maybe work a while to get your money, some money or whatever. But I think it's tough, right? 'Cause when you're young and you're trying to go to school, and you're trying to go to school, maybe you want to go to college, university, and then you want to take out loans or whatever. I mean, it's not easy, right? And then you have to do well in school, and then you have to, you have to do all these things, and it can be daunting, it can be difficult. But I mean, I don't think everyone's made for school. I don't think it's something that everyone should do. 'Cause not everyone's good at it, not everyone likes it, right? So I don't think it's what everyone should do, but I think if you are capable of doing university or college, not that everyone is, but, I heard somewhere that like people are going like crazy, like people are going to university, college like crazy, so their education is not as worthwhile. But I mean, there's still some professions that are like doctor, lawyer, whatever, that get you a good career. But I mean, in terms of doing something academic, a lot of people will say, don't do academia because it's not good for you or whatever, because maybe they feel like you'd be wasting time. But personally, I mean, I think if you are good at school, whether it doesn't even matter if it's like a degree that's going to get you success. I mean, like immediate success. Like, I mean, obviously being a lawyer, you're going to get success if you do well enough, and you can do the job. But I mean, in terms of being someone that is, even like doing like philosophy, I mean, obviously philosophy is not going to be like a game changer for you unless you become a professor. But I mean, really, there's not much room to be a philosopher and like a job unless you luck out when you have a degree. But I mean, in general, I think school, college, university is very important. I really think it's important. I think people minimize the importance of it, and I think people really try to make people feel like it's not good for you when it is. I don't think it necessarily is gonna make you a lot of money. I mean, some of it does. I mean, you could have no education and do well, even if you're not a social media person. But I mean, they do say that you can get away with having high school only, or drop out in high school and still be famous and be successful. Which, I mean, maybe you can, but I don't think their chances are as good, and I don't think that, and that's not always true, right? Some people are very successful and they're dropouts or whatever, but I mean, if you're a celebrity, I mean, you can be a celebrity and not do anything in school, as long as you had some learning. But we all know that learning gets you places, right? For me, I have so many more titles that I come up with. I have so many more video ideas because I've had so much education, right? And I would definitely take education again. I don't see a problem with that. But in terms of being successful, you don't necessarily need it. But I mean, I think it makes you a much more well-rounded person. You're a lot more mature. And I really don't like when people say don't get it. But I mean, some people might really need it. Maybe they didn't graduate high school and they're rich like crazy and they're happier for it. I mean, you can't say that that's not going to get. I mean, some people just really love university, college, and high school, graduating eventually or doing whatever, GED, whatever, and getting a trade or whatever. Some people value that, and some people really think it's garbage, right? It just depends on the person you are, right? I like to encourage people to do that to get schooling, because, I mean, but obviously you don't want it to ruin your life, but. I mean, I really encourage people to get schooling, because I think, without schooling, you're not as well-rounded in terms of academia or knowledge, right? Knowledge is power, right? But some people, like I said, some people would rather read on their own. Some people really feel like street smarts is better than academic smarts, etc., right? Anyway, totally enjoy the show. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye now.